The Zero Rings category, I only want to include retired players. If an active player has at least one ring and made it over the hill, then heck, let's put them in the other categories. But for this one specifically, I wouldn't want to factor in any zero ring active players. At point guard, some good options include Mark Price, Steve Nash, and Penny Hardaway, just to name a few, but my pick here is John Stockton. John leads the entire NBA in all-time steals and assists. What more can you ask for in a point guard, except for maybe rings, of course, but let's not be too hard on the guy. He did run into Michael Jordan twice in the NBA Finals, so you know how those stories end. Who should be our starting shooting guard is a good question. Some runners-up include Reggie Miller and Tracy McGrady, but the answer to this question is indeed the answer, Allen Iverson. AI led an offensively challenged team all the way to the finals before, but ran into prime Shaq and an up-and-coming Kobe. He was able to steal one game and step over Tyronn Lue after a nasty crossover. It's better than getting swept, but it's still not a win in the end. Small forward? That's a tough call. You got Elgin Baylor and Charles Barkley. You could fit both into the starting five and put Barkley at the 4, but the 4 spot is pretty locked up, and we'll get to that later. Elgin is a legendary player both on and off the court, and one of the most underrated players in NBA history, if not the most underrated player, and you could argue that statistically, Elgin is the superior player. Now, there is an era comparison between the 90s and the 60s. You can argue that Elgin had better talent on his roster, with the likes of prime Jerry West and an older but still good Wilt Chamberlain, whereas Barkley was the clear-cut best player on his rosters, especially during his MVP season when he did lead the Suns all the way to the finals. It's a really close call at this spot, but since Barkley was the clear-cut best player on his own team, it does make for a pretty good tiebreaker. And while Elgin isn't considered a champion by the history books, he did play a few games on the Lakers roster that did end up winning it all in '72, so you could even use that to consider him a champion. Barkley came close to winning it all in the '93 finals, but there was a man named prime Michael Jordan standing in his way, which is why he's ringless. Our ringless power forward is two-time MVP Karl Malone, like no rings for him. At center, we gotta go with Patrick Ewing, who is an 11-time Knicks All-Star, 7-time All-NBA player, 3-time All-Defensive, Rookie of the Year, and a Hall of Famer. In Patrick's best season, he played all 82 games and averaged almost 29 points per game. He did make it to the finals once, technically twice. His team made it twice. He lost to the Rockets in '94, and then during that lockout season, the Knicks did face the Spurs in the finals, but Ewing wasn't playing in that finals due to an injury. Next up, we get the one-ring starting five. Point guard is a ton of great options from Gary Payton to Jason Kidd, but my pick here has to be the big O Oscar Robertson. All three of these guards won the rings later in their career, and they played three completely different eras, so it's hard to compare. Gary is the best defender, Jason is the best leader, and Oscar is the best scorer, with his passing ability being neck and neck with Jason's ability, along with his court vision and IQ. Getting an MVP certainly doesn't hurt. So yeah, the original triple-double machine gets my pick. At shooting guard, there's Mr. Big Shot Chauncey Billups. You can technically squeeze Kyrie Irving as a combo guard, even though on paper he's a point. And of course, you got Clyde Drexler and Jerry West. This is a really close call between Clyde and Jerry. If we're naming top 5 shooting guards, top 3 easily MJ, Kobe, D Wade, and then spots 4 and 5 is an absolute dogfight with the likes of James Harden, the logo Jerry West, and Clyde the Glide Drexler. Now, quick memo, that includes considering Allen Iverson more of a point guard or a combo guard, but if you're throwing him into your shooting guard ranking, then I think he easily cracks that top 5 as well. If I had to find a tiebreaker, I will say that Clyde won a ring while playing in Houston, whereas Jerry won a ring with his original team, the Lakers. And I think he deserves points for that. Jerry won his ring in '72, beating the Knicks 4-1. At small forward, no question this goes to Dr. J. Julius Erving. He's one of the best dunkers in the game and one of the most underrated players in the game. His time in the ABA is what makes him so underrated because his overall NBA resume and trophy case is smaller due to it, but his talent is undeniable. If he had a full NBA career and spent more of his prime in the NBA, his resume could look much more GOAT-like. Dr. J won his ring in 1983, sweeping the Showtime Lakers. Power forward would be a really close call between the big-ticket Kevin Garnett and Dirk Nowitzki until you bring up a man named Giannis Antetokounmpo into the mix, and while the Greek Freak might win more rings in the future, as of this upload, he's only got one, and I do think while his resume may not be as complete as the other two, from a pure talent perspective, I do think Giannis is the best of these three. He's got better defense than Dirk, he's got better offense than KG, and as far as single seasons go, he had one of the best PER single seasons in NBA history, up there with the likes of Nikola Jokic, Wilt Chamberlain, and Joel Embiid. Now by technicality, you could slide either Dirk or KG at center, but there is a center here who I do think deserves this spot, and that's none other than Moses Malone, who won his ring alongside Dr. J. So this starting five already has great chemistry with that duo. Moses can easily part any defense and split it in 2002. Plus, he follows all 10 commandments of basketball. Malone won his ring sweeping the Lakers in '83 with Irving. Rest in peace to Moses Malone. Next up, we got the duo squad, the two-time champs. At point guard, no question, Zeke Isaiah Thomas, who won his chips in '89 and 1990, beating the Lakers in '89 and the Blazers in '90. Thomas, no question, top 5 point guard all time, arguably top 3 all time. Shooting guard, bear with me on this one. Close call, easily Joe Dumars, Ray Allen, but since this is a starting 5, watch what I'm about to do here. I might pull Nick Wright and choose none of them and go with KD at the 2. This saves me from sacrificing either KD or Kawhi at the 3 spot. Don't forget, Kevin Durant did play shooting guard during his rookie season, so I'm not really stretching any positions here, and it's not like he can't play the 2. The dude's got range, he's got ball handling, and he's got speed to play this position. KD won his rings back-to-back with the Warriors, beating the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2017 and 2018. Since KD is our shooting guard, this gives us plenty of room to have the Claw at the 3 spot, who is not only a 2-time champ, but a 2-time Finals MVP so far. Leonard won his rings with the Spurs in 2014 and the Raptors in 2019, beating KD. At power forward, I'm going to pick a center who I think would have no problem playing the 4 spot, and that's Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain, who could very easily play any front court position. He's that athletic. Wilt won his rings in the years 1967 with Philly and in 1972 with the Lakers. Rest in peace to Wilt Chamberlain. At center, easily Hakeem Olajuwon, no-brainer. There's no explanation why he gets the spot. I think I need to explain why he's playing the 5 rather than the 4. I think Wilt's more versatile with his game when it comes to playing other positions. I mean, they had Ralph Sampson at the 4, and the dude's like 7'4". He's taller than Hakeem, yet they still put him at the 4 with the Dream at the 5. The Dream won his rings back-to-back, beating the Knicks, then Magic, during the years Jordan was retired in the mid-90s. It would have been cool to see a Rockets-Bulls finals, but I guess it's only on 2K or hypotheticals. 3 times is the charm. Next up, we got the 3-ring starting 5, and this one finally has some competition now that the Warriors core are mostly 4-time champs along with LeBron James. At point guard, we easily got to give this one to Dennis Johnson, though Byron Scott does deserve an honorable mention. Dennis won 2 chips with the Celtics, and his most impressive was his Finals MVP chip with the Seattle Supersonics in 1979, beating the Bullets. Rest in peace to Dennis Johnson. Shooting guard, easy. 3-time champ D. Wade, who won it all in '06 with Shaq, and then repeated with the King in 2012 and 2013. Another easy one at small forward, Larry Bird, 3-time champ, winning in the years '81, '84, and '86, beating the Rockets, then Lakers, then Rockets again. Speaking of no-brainers, power forward, no question, Larry Bird's teammate Kevin McHale, who, like Larry, won during the years '81, '84, and '86, beating Rockets, then Lakers, then Rockets once again. At center, my pick is Bill Cartwright, who 3-peated with Jordan in the Bulls during Jordan's first 3-peat. Cartwright is a rookie all-star who averaged 21.7 points per game in his rookie season, yet he didn't win Rookie of the Year. The winner that year went to Larry Bird, who was also on this starting 5. Now for the Cuatro squad, the 4-ring starting 5, it's pretty much the Warriors-Lakers dream team in a way. Well, maybe not the Lakers, there's 2 great Lakers here I guess, but we'll get to the starting 5 right now. At point guard, we gotta choose the 2nd best point guard all time, the greatest shooter all time with Steph Curry, no explanation. Shooting guard, I am picking Klay Thompson, but to be fair, there is a version of the starting 5 where we slide Curry at the 2 and put Tony Parker at the 1. However, the trade-off for me is chemistry, and that trade-off is a bit too strong. I would really like having my backcourt being the Golden State duo. And then of course there is Manu Ginobili, who's a great runner-up at the 2 spot right here. Small forward, duh, we gotta go with the 2nd best player all time, LeBron James. Power forward, easily Draymond Green, who while statistically doesn't look too flashy on paper, he was and is the glue for the Warriors dynasty, and was and is the defensive anchor for said dynasty. At center we got Superman Shaquille O'Neal, who 3-peated with Kobe, then won a 4th ring with Dwayne Wade in Miami. This has got to be the most fun starting 5 in my opinion, and chemistry wise it's probably the most dangerous and unguardable. You pretty much have the 73-9 Warriors, and then you add LeBron James and Shaq. How do you guard this team? And while on paper, you could technically name a more talented starting 5, but from a chemistry and fit perspective, this team is mad scary. LeBron and Curry we know would make a great duo, and while the sample size is very small with like just the All-Star game, we know this would fit. Kevin Durant fit, and LeBron is much more of a willing passer. They'll out-rebound you, they'll out-shoot you, they can do anything, they got so much weapons. The only thing this team doesn't have is a ring on each finger. Our next team though, that's a different story, for one hand at least. For the 5-ring starting 5 at point guard, no question the best point guard all time, Magic Johnson. Shooting guard, no question the second best shooting guard all time, the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. Kobe three-peated with Shaq, then won 2 more with Pau Gasol. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. At small forward, Michael Cooper is a close second, but I am taking Dennis Rodman, who won 2 rings with the Pistons and then 3 rings with the Bulls. Dennis is one of the best rebounders and defenders the game has ever seen. At power forward, I'm taking the best power forward all time, Tim Duncan. This needs no explanation. Our 5-ring center is the Minneapolis Lakers legend George Mikan, who is a 4-time All-Star and averaged over 28 points per game in his best scoring season. Rest in peace to George Mikan. And last but not least, we have the 6+ ring starting 5. If I go higher than 6+ and start splitting hairs more, then I might as well just show you photos of the TD Garden banners. So obviously 6+ seems like the best way to box this in. Our point guard is the father of the behind the back pass, Celtics legend Bob Cousy. This is an easy pick here. Our shooting guard is the GOAT of the sport, Michael Jordan. Once again, easy pick, no explanation needed. At small forward, we have Scottie Pippen, who won 6 rings alongside Michael Jeffrey Jordan. At power forward, if you open up a dictionary and look up the definition of a champion, that definition should only have 2 words, and those words better be Bill Russell. Bill Russell is an 11-time champion and is a champion both on and off the court. He will be dearly missed. Rest in peace to Bill Russell. Our 6-ring center is easily Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who won 5 rings with the Lakers and 1 ring with the Bucks. So here is the best starting 5 from every ring total. Let me know what you think of this list and which starting 5 has the best team. Also, what you want to see in the future. Don't forget to dunk on that like button and subscribe with notifications turned on. I'm Rebound Rewind, and I'll fast forward to you later.